Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's boardzy, and this is going to be the long awaited review of the Razer Viper Mini Signature Edition, which is what they are calling this version of the Viper Mini Wireless. You saw that premium unboxing experience, this premium leather case. You might wonder, how much does that experience cost? A light $280. So getting that out of the way, that is absolutely an insane price for a gaming mouse. You might wonder what this mouse has to offer. First things first, it does come with a hyperpolling dongle out of the box, so it's 4K Hertz compatible. It has a 49-gram magnesium alloy exoskeleton, is what they're calling this. I'll get into that later, but just a very interesting design choice. I figure I might as well talk about the weight now, because I figure some people are going to be disappointed by the 49-gram weight with all of these holes. I do honestly think that this would have been a better release if it was even in the low 50s, but just a solid magnesium shell. And what a lot of people don't understand is that they think magnesium is significantly lighter than plastic, and that's not really the case. Like, it's slightly lighter, and it's also a lot more structurally sound. So the build quality is like unbelievably good. I would say it feels better. It's better attached to the base than Final Mouse had with their Starlights. The base is still just made out of standard plastic, for like wireless reasons. But yeah, the build quality is fucking insane. I'm just gonna squeeze this. I'm truly applying all of my grip strength, just trying to like break it, and I can't. So that is about as good as you can get in terms of sidewalls. There is like a slight rattle, but that's just the scroll wheel. Like when I cover it, there's nothing, and that is not really an issue in my opinion. So yeah, structurally there's nothing to worry about. Like, you can press anywhere and you just don't have to worry about anything. God, I'm very reassuring about this build quality. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows, because while the shell structure is extremely solid, the buttons, there are some concerning aspects. First and foremost, we have the side buttons. You guys know me, harshest side button critic in all the lands. These things, that's not good. That is not what you want to see in terms of side button wobble. Both of the buttons have pretty significant wobble. I could just see, like, these have a very similar feeling to the original G Pro wireless side buttons, slightly less mushy. I would truly say they are a downgrade from the original Viper Mini wired side buttons, so I'm not sure what slipped up with the side button design. The quality on them, I would say, it's like good for Fortnite. You can still build with them, but I would kind of be concerned with these going to shit over time, just given how much wobble there is after just over a week of use. And I have always been really high on Razer's side buttons. You can see the Viper V2 Pro, there is just none of that side to side wobble. They're perfectly tensioned. So maybe it's a chance I just got a bad unit. I encourage you guys to watch other reviews, but at $280, you are expecting beyond perfection. And that's definitely not what you're getting with the side buttons. There is also a lot of side-to-side wobble and like slight grinding on the main clicks. This is something that I don't like to really hold against a mouse unless it actually is noticeable and bad in game. And in my opinion, it's not. The implementation with the optical switches and the magnesium alloy, it feels around the same in terms of heaviness as their implementation on the Viper V2 Pro. So it's definitely spammable. It's not going to be too heavy for anybody. I was actually like getting Kovacs scores in clicking scenarios with this mouse. Like, the actual mouse itself feels insane, obviously. Fucking 49-gram weight. If you think that's too heavy, actually, like, just stupid. 4K Hertz polling rate, really good implementation, like best latency. Yeah, this mouse is insane, and it's in the Viper Mini shape that people have been waiting for in wireless form forever. But with the holes, which I really have not brought up as well, I feel like those kind of do take away from the mouse for claw grip. The reason I have this Viper Mini out is because I actually took off like this front panel, and that's kind of how claw gripping this mouse feels. It just feels like there is empty space if you are like gripping it tight against your palm, and that's just it's a weird design. I said that before, and that's just the best way to describe it. For fingertip, you won't notice it. This is probably the best fingertip grip mouse on the market. I would just say, in terms of general experience, it's a step up from the Starlight 12. But I think Final Mouse is doing another drop. They might have done it by the time you see this video, but yeah, it is what it is. Currently, I would say this does outclass the Starlight Small, but just for claw grip, I feel like having a solid shell with the nice coating that they've put on this mouse just would have been better. And just one problem, if you're a fella who has some meat on their thumb, you're gonna probably notice it just literally sink in to these bottom holes, and it just creates a very like awkward feeling. Like, yes, I can still aim with it, but it's not the most comfortable mouse to grip by any stretch of the imagination. The Lamzu Atlantis, like, you're not gonna have any of the side button issues. There's less like main click grind. Like, sure, the tech really does not feel as good, but for $90 versus $280, like, it's just really hard to make a case for this mouse unless you are just a like huge mouse enthusiast, like on the level that I am, and you just need to try the newest crazy Viper Mini wireless from Razer. If you're not, I would recommend waiting until they make a plastic version of this mouse with like the Viper V2 Pro, Death Adder V3 Pro specs, plastic in the low 50s. That just makes a lot of sense. Now I just want to talk about how the mouse feels in hand, because that's something I really have not mentioned much in terms of like the actual weight and just moving it around, and it feels incredible. It does not feel like it's 49 grams, if that makes sense. Like, there are other mice in that range on my desk, and it just feels easier to move. And even though from the design you might think that it's somewhat front heavy, it just does not feel that way in hand. And it might be the skates or just like the good center of gravity, but it just feels very easy to move around and still have stability despite the 49 gram weight. It's just a good weight in my opinion. So yeah, personally, after having tried and used the mouse, I'm not going to knock on the weight, but I do understand people who are criticizing it because it is far more expensive than even the Starlight 12 was, and it's not groundbreaking in terms of weight. Like, it's not the lightest wireless mouse on the market, and it's a lot more expensive than a lot of affordable offerings. Like, even the Viper V2 Pro with a dongle, it's just hard to say this is going to make you a better player for $100 more. So yeah, it's a mouse that's in a very weird place in my opinion. There is no denying that it is excellent for performance. If you have truly no budget and you're just looking for the best small mouse for aiming, go for it, I guess, in my opinion. But other than that, probably just wait. I feel like I've been saying that so many times. I might as well show you the in-box extras, because they do throw a lot of shit in the box. And I do respect that. I guess I already took it out. That is awesome. They have glass skates, which I have not actually had the chance to use, because hear me out, glass skates, I could just use them for a few days and be like, wow, these feel incredible, but then in a few weeks they go to shit. So I do want to wait to actually do a long-term review on Razer's glass skates. I think they're made of Gorilla Glass, so potentially a material we have not seen before, and yeah, I'll have more info on those soon. The PTFE skates, 2 pairs of their grip tape, which is just the same as ones they provide in the box on their other mice, and like some alcohol wipes and a microfiber cloth. So $280 worth of value right there. But yeah, man, aside from the side buttons and just the questionable whole design, there's really not a lot that I can knock on this mouse for. This is like what you would expect in terms of feel from a wireless Viper Mini. The quality of the magnesium alloy shell, like, that's definitely something that I do value. The clicks feel absolutely perfect. Just like the tech and latency, like, it actually does feel a step up from standard 3395 mice with Compex MCUs and 1K hertz polling. So that is worth mentioning. Like, I am completely sold that this mouse's input is significantly better. The scroll wheel, I think it is made of like aluminum, and it feels perfectly fine in my opinion. It's centered for all of the Final Mouse memers, and yeah, it's going to be pretty light to activate, rigid, defined steps, nothing like Zowie, and a light click to activate. So pretty much perfect in terms of the scroll wheel. The stock feet are really good, which is another reason I didn't switch to glass. Like, I just was really happy with the stock skate experience. And yeah, they have the same hybrid power and DPI button as they did before. Obviously, USB-C charging. That is another thing. They have fast charging. So this is actually going to charge faster than Razer's other top-of-the-line offerings. This kind of helps with the fact that 4K hertz is going to drain battery life a lot faster than 1K hertz. You can really just plug it in for like 10-15 minutes and you'll be good for the rest of the day, most likely. I would say you're still going to get 2 to 3 full days of use on 4K hertz polling rate before you need to charge it, so it is going to be more of a habit. One thing that's convenient is the dongle does indicate the battery percentage, so you will always know if your mouse is low if you just need to quickly plug it in. I did see a lot of people guessing that the weight was higher either due to having a bigger battery or having some type of dual mode MCU that also had 8K hertz wired, and neither of those predictions turned out to be true. So for all of the people wondering, yeah, nothing crazy in terms of wired mouse experience or battery life on this mouse. One thing I should mention is the anodized coating that they are using. It is pretty grippy. I would say it's better than Final Mouse's coating. It is not going to be slippery, but it's also not going to be like a matte rubberized coating. Obviously, since it is a metal mouse, it's just going to be slightly more slippery by nature. I would say overall the coating gets the job done. I just wish it was a full solid shell for probably the 20th time this video. But yeah, I don't really know what else there is to talk about. The price is just the unfortunate factor that I feel like is going to kill this mouse for a lot of people. And if you've watched a lot of my videos, you know price is not something that I usually harp on. Like, I get a lot of shit and have no problem with recommending a $150 mice, but I've always had the mindset that $250 can get you a top-of-the-line mouse, top-of-the-line like artisan mouse pad, and have room for accessories. In this case, $250 isn't even getting you the entire mouse. So the value's skewed. Really have no budget, you just want an elite small mouse, especially if you play fingertip, I would say go for it. One of the best mice on the market, but unless I was going to main it, I was not going to give this mouse the seal of approval at the price it's at. If it ever goes on a sale, I don't know if that's possible. I would say even like $230 for the bundle would not be an unreal price, but $280, man, that's almost $300. And I just don't think it's going to make you that much, if at all, better than you would just be with the Viper V2 Pro and the 4K Hertz dongle, which is $165 experience. So yeah, that is what I honestly think about the Viper Mini Signature Edition. There are the side buttons, which I think should be addressed, unless I really just did get a horrible unit. And the main click grinding, I don't think that is something that really ruins the mouse, but it could potentially get worse over time. So I'm going to definitely make a long-term review on this mouse because it is just so polarizing. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to when Razer releases the standard plastic version of this mouse. Perhaps they could even do an Orochi like super budget version, because the original Viper Mini, which is currently at like $20, I think, is still a pretty good mouse. I did compare it head to head with the Viper Signature Edition, and it feels a lot worse with the LOD, just the overall sensor feeling and the heavier weight. It feels a lot worse, but is this worth 10 times the price? It's, I don't know, value on gaming mice. Very complicated. One of the world's top issues. But yeah, that's probably going to be all for this video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. But yeah, as you can tell, I just really was not blown away by this mouse. And if you do have larger, meatier hands, even though like the Viper Mini, I still considered it a usable shape, with the holes, it is going to be a bit more uncomfortable. Still usable for claw grip. But yeah, I can't say that this is my #1 main mouse, but easily one of the top small mice on the market. If you're looking for a shape that's like close to it, nothing is really a direct clone, but I would say the X2 Mini is the closest. It is just going to have a lot flatter sides. I did not talk about the shape much in this video because it's 3 years old. Everybody knows the Viper Mini shape at this point. And yeah, stay tuned for a full small mouse roundup coming soon as well, now that I can finally speak about this mouse. But yeah, that's all. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and peace.